The senator from Oklahoma has arrived. He might be out of breath, but whenever he's ready, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that. Coming in from another hearing back and forth is always a joy on a day back and forth. Thanks for your service to the nation already and working with USDA. But I have some concerns on this. I'm just trying to figure out where this is going. We've had the USTR here in this room multiple times. We've had Secretary Raimondo to be able to talk about trade negotiations and what's happening on the commerce side. And the very clear message that we've heard over and over again is we're not going to do trade deals. The president has instructed us we're not going to do trade deals. Now, the first year, we were all asking questions about what are we going to do with the UK? What are we going to do in Asia? Where are we expanding to? Every ag producer in my state, and I have a lot in my state of Oklahoma, all asked me the same question. Well, two questions. When's it going to rain next? That's the first one. The second one is always, what's the new trade agreement that we've got working? What new country? We're overly dependent on China for soybeans. We're overly dependent on certain countries. What new countries are we developing trade agreements with? And I hear from the Biden administration, we're not going to. We're kind of working on the edges of tweaking a few things. So my biggest question for you is, what new trade agreements are we going to organize? And for you, you've worked on domestic policy. How are you prepared to be able to help work with countries to be able to go get new trade agreements? Because we need new places to send pork. We need new places to send beef. We need new places to send wheat. We need new places to send soybeans. We've got great supply. There are customers that are out there. We're just not developing those relationships intentionally.
Thank you, Senator Lankford. I really appreciate that question. And I can't make it rain for your farmers in Oklahoma.
I can't either, but that's all right.
But what I can do is make some rain in terms of trade access. And the farmers I talk to, and in a 30-year career with USDA, I think the reason that they associate those three letters, FTA or Free Trade Agreement, with market access is they look back at past performance and what that has done for them. In my role as Chief Agricultural Negotiator, it will be to get them the kind of market access that they are expecting and that they need, regardless of what the title at the top of the document says. I wouldn't be taking this job, I wouldn't be interested in it if I didn't think I could make a difference for farmers. So what they need, your ranchers in terms of meat products, your farmers in terms of row crops, it's going to be incumbent upon me to deliver the kinds of results and to be an advocate within the system and abroad to make sure that at the end of the day, things that weren't sent to these countries previously, now we have an opportunity there. Quite frankly, we've had a few trade missions already this year. We just had one in the Philippines that completed. Really impressive opportunities are opening up there. I think this is a time when our farmers can really capitalize on sending things abroad in ways that they haven't before. So I want to be their advocate to do that.
Yeah, there's no doubt this is a good time for us to be able to expand. Obviously, what's happening worldwide, everyone's looking for reliable customers. The reason those three letters FTA matter to them is because it's certainty. It outlives an administration. It's something consistent. We know what the trade policy is going to be. Congress has agreed to it. The American people have agreed to it. They can put supply chains in order. They can get delivery systems in order to be able to do it. And there's a consistency. If it's only an executive agreement, it only lasts as long as that administration, and they have no idea if it's going to keep going. So why would you develop all of your systems to be able to ship to a certain country and all the relationships that need to be done if you don't know if it's going to last longer than 2 years? So that is important to get some kind of certainty. And my concern is this administration is focused on executive agreements rather than lasting agreements, and they are looking for lasting agreements. With that, what region and what products are kind of first on your list? We've had first on the list that we thought were really ready. For instance, the UK is one of those areas that they were primed and ready saying, hey, we want to be able to make the deal on this. And we're just not seeing the effort being put into that. There's lots of areas of Southeast Asia that are very interested in engaging with us in our agreements. There are other countries that are even looking at the latest agreements that we've made 3 years ago and saying, we'll take that deal, but we're not even trying at that point. So who's first on the list?
So I think we need to be, absolutely, you mentioned UK. I have flown over, met with my regulator counterparts there, and there are a lot of opportunities that are not far from being realized,
right.
And so we need to get there. Southeast Asia for sure is a big one, Latin America, and there are some areas in Africa as well that need to be a major focus for us. And the agricultural commodities differ depending upon which of those areas that you're referring to. So I would want to make sure we've got the boots on the ground and working on behalf of all of those to get some results as early as we can in the process. With respect to IPEV, I think the ink isn't dry regarding whether or not there are enforcement mechanisms in there, the kinds that your farmers want to see and expect. So it would be my responsibility and duty to advocate to get those kinds of hard commitments for agriculture that have lasting power, certainly beyond a few years or 8 years.
Well, I appreciate that, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the conversation on this. Let me just put this hat on and say to you, I'm skeptical, and it's not you, because I don't know you well enough. But it took 18 months for the Biden administration to even put someone in this role, and they've been very vocal with us that they're not looking for free trade agreements. And when they say they're not looking for a free trade agreement, and then it takes 18 months to even nominate someone to be able to deal with ag policy, our ag folks are really looking for results on this, not hopeful. And so I know that's putting a lot on you as you're stepping into this, but showing some of those results and showing we can actually move from it'd be nice if to actually getting it done will be very hopeful and helpful to the folks in the ag community in my state. So if you can check off the low-hanging fruit in the UK and other places, show progress and go get some more deals done, that's going to be helpful to the country's economy. So thank you.